ba'd. Allah says in Surah Al-Baqara, verse 44, أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابِ. Do you encourage other people to righteousness, to be good? وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ, but you forget yourselves. وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابِ, while you are reciting the book. أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ, don't you think? Like, don't you understand anything? So Allah is talking about a type of hypocrisy, a type of two-faced behavior that some people fall into. So some people will go and they'll tell other people, you need to do this and you need to do this and you need to do that. But then they don't tell themselves to do the exact same thing. Now sometimes this plays out when you're telling somebody, you know what, hey, you shouldn't be gossiping, you shouldn't be talking bad about other people. But then they're doing other bad deeds themselves, which are not in the same category. And rather than seeing the faults in themselves, they're seeing the faults in others and they're focusing on the good in themselves. And it should be the other way around. But what's worse is when you're telling the person exactly the same thing, that you shouldn't do this, you should do this, and you're doing the exact opposite yourself in the same category. And that's worse, because that means that there's like, not only are you missing it, not only you're blinded to your own, defects, but there's a level of hypocrisy there. And what's interesting is this verse is mentioned in the context of the children of Israel, Bani Israel. And the children of Israel were supposed to be the followers of Prophet Musa. And what happened is Allah is criticizing them, saying, Ya Bani Israel, azkuru ni'mati allati an'amtu alaykum. O children of Israel, remember the favors which I gave you. And in that context, a few verses right after that, Allah says, you type of people, you are telling people to be righteous, to do all these things, and you're not doing it yourselves, and you recite the book. And what book are they talking about? What book is it? The Torah. They say they're reciting the Torah, but they're not following any of it, and they're going and telling everyone else that you should do this, you should do that. In the same category of what they're telling other people, they're not following it themselves. And what's ironic is that what we see taking place, the genocide that is taking place in Gaza and now around the surrounding areas against our brothers and sisters in Palestine, you find the same type of hypocrisy taking place. Because the same people who are crying that the Holocaust took place against the Jews, and rightfully it did, and there was a genocide that was carried out against the Jews, the same people who are descendants of those people, who set up museums and who say, you know what, this should never happen again. For them, it's this should never happen again to us. But it can happen to somebody else. It's not never happen again to anybody. Never happen again to us. If it happens again to somebody else, no problem. Because we're the chosen people. And we're the special people. And this is our land. This is the hypocrisy that we're witnessing every single day on television, every single day in the media, every single day among the majority of American politicians who are hypocritical sellouts, and all they care about is votes, and all they care about is getting in their positions of power. And subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala criticized the exact same behavior, this hypocritical behavior, and He mentions while you are reciting the book, the Torah, which has been slightly modified, but the Torah given to Prophet Musa, while you're doing that, in the same breath, what are you doing? You're going and committing a genocide, and then you're crying about the genocide that just took place to your people. Subhanallah. In the context of Ya Bani Israel, azkuru ni'mati allati an'amtu alaykum. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to learn these lessons. And what we're supposed to also remember is not only to see the hypocrisy of what's taking place right now, but who were the Bani Israel? The Bani Israel, it's very easy sometimes to look and say these children of Israel, these were the Jews of the past. But Allah addresses them not so you only look at them, but they were the Muslim ummah of the past. And Allah is saying that if you follow in the footsteps of them, they claim that they believe in their prophet. We claim that we believe in our prophet, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's a lesson also to us that we should not fall into the same trap. Because if we think that we're going to cry and complain and say, our lands were colonized and we were oppressed and there was this happened to us and the European colonials did this and took away our golden age of Islam and all of that, and then we're in a position of authority, in a position of power, and then we go and we start doing the same thing to other people, whether it's on a country level or whether it's oppressing our own family members, oppressing our own community members. We need to learn the lesson. Allah criticized them not only so we can point fingers, although we have a very good justification for pointing fingers, but so that we can learn the lesson and never repeat the mistakes that we see happening around us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our hearts from ever falling into that. Ameen wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum.